In the 3rd century BC, the greatest library in the ancient world was built in Egypt. For centuries, it gathered the knowledge of civilizations from across the known world. Then, it disappeared. The story begins in the city of Alexandria, founded by Alexander the Great after his conquest of Egypt. Following his death, the city became the capital of the Ptolemaic kingdom. Its rulers wanted Alexandria to become the intellectual center of the world. To achieve that goal, they created what became known as the Library of Alexandria. It was far more than a building filled with books. It formed part of a great institution called the Mausion, where scholars lived, studied, debated, and taught. The rulers of Egypt sent agents across the Mediterranean searching for written works. Ships arriving in Alexandria were reportedly inspected for scrolls. If valuable texts were found, scribes copied them. In some accounts, the library kept the originals while returning copies to their owners. Over time, the collection grew to extraordinary size. Ancient writers claimed it held hundreds of thousands of scrolls containing history, science, medicine, mathematics, philosophy, poetry, and literature. Many of history's greatest scholars worked there. Astronomers studied the stars. Geographers measured the earth. Mathematicians developed new ideas that influenced generations to come. For centuries, the Library of Alexandria became the greatest center of learning the ancient world had ever seen. Then came the mystery of its disappearance. Many people believe the library was destroyed in a single catastrophic fire. The truth is almost certainly more complicated. In 48 BC, Julius Caesar became involved in a civil war in Egypt. During fighting around Alexandria, fires broke out near the city's harbor. Several ancient sources suggest that some stored scrolls were destroyed during the chaos. Whether the main library itself suffered major damage remains uncertain, and historians continue to debate how much was actually lost. Even if the library survived that event, Alexandria faced centuries of turmoil. Wars, invasions, political unrest, and economic decline repeatedly struck the city. Royal funding that had supported scholars became increasingly difficult to maintain. Collections that had taken generations to build were no longer carefully replaced or expanded. Knowledge that was not copied slowly disappeared as aging scrolls decayed. Later, during the Roman Empire, additional conflicts damaged parts of Alexandria. In the late 4th century AD, religious tensions swept through the city. The Serapeum, a temple that housed an important daughter library, was destroyed after imperial orders against pagan temples. Many historians believe that by this point, much of the original Library of Alexandria had already vanished, though exactly how much remained is unknown. Over the centuries, later stories blamed different conquerors for destroying the library in one final act. However, modern historians generally reject the idea of a single moment that erased all its knowledge. Instead, they believe the library declined gradually through repeated disasters, neglect, and the slow loss of royal support. By the early Middle Ages, the greatest library of the ancient world had disappeared. Countless works of history, science, literature, and philosophy were lost forever. Some survived only because copies had been carried elsewhere before the decline began. Others vanished completely. The Library of Alexandria remains one of history's greatest mysteries, not because we know exactly how it disappeared, but because we may never know how much of humanity's knowledge disappeared with it.